We have our heading.
Here we go!
Here's looking at you, kid.
I'm gonna make him an offer to gamble with you.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bond. James Bond.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
But you don't understand, Osgood. I'm a man. Well, nobody's perfect.
Hollywood is a district in Los Angeles, California, situated northwest of the downtown core of LA. Due to its fame as a historical center of movie making, the word Hollywood is often used as the term for the American cinema industry. In the late 1800s, Thomas Edison developed the first camera called the kinetoscope. He enforced his patents with outrageous fees. This burden drove the movie industry west, away from New York. By the early 1900s, filmmakers headed to California because of its dry climate, predictable weather, and long distance from Edison's patent control. A popular myth is the word Hollywood traces to the California holly that covers the hilltops of the area. It was actually coined by a man named H.J. Whitley, the father of Hollywood. In the late 1890s, he purchased a 500-acre area from a man called E.C. Hurd and planned to create a town, Hollywood. Whitley opened the famous Hollywood Hotel in 1902. He built the hotel to attract land buyers to the residential area. The hotel eventually became internationally acclaimed and was the center of the social life of celebrities for many years. D.W. Griffith was the first to make a motion picture in Hollywood. Called In Old California, it was a melodrama about California in the late 19th century, when it was still a part of Mexico. It was completely filmed in the town of Hollywood and it was released in theaters in March of 1910. Because of an ongoing struggle for adequate water supply, Hollywood became part of the city of Los Angeles in 1910, as the water system in LA would be more than adequate for the area. By 1911, Los Angeles was second only to New York in motion picture production. By 1915, the majority of American films were produced in LA. By 1920, Hollywood had become famous as the center of the movie industry. The golden age of Hollywood began in 1927 when the movie The Jazz Singer was released. It was the first film to include sound, marking the end to the silent film era. Things were slow to start at the beginning of Hollywood's golden age due to financial troubles caused by the Great Depression. However, studios were able to produce outstanding movies that provided an escape for audiences from the struggles of the Depression. Films began to be produced in large numbers. Some of Hollywood's most memorable classics were created during the Golden Age and included Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, and Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There were 5 major studios in the movie business called the Big Five. They were MGM, Paramount, 20th Century Fox, Warner Brothers, and RKO Pictures. These studios gave birth to dozens of new stars and thousands of films. Each studio had its own set of actors that it used in the studio's movies. One could usually guess what studio produced a movie based on the actors in it. Creative teams often worked on films made by the same studio. The major studios kept thousands of people on salary. Actors, producers, directors, writers, stuntmen, craftsmen, and technicians all worked for their respective studio. This came to be known as the Hollywood studio system, where, based on the actors featured and its filming style, you could tell what studio produced the film. MGM dominated the industry with its top stars in Hollywood and was credited with creating the Hollywood star system altogether. MGM claimed they had more stars than there are in the heavens. They included Clark Gable, Jean Harlow, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, and Buster Keaton. American moviegoers reveled in the entertainment of Hollywood's newfound stars that lit up the big screen with passion and glamour. Many of the greatest films of all time came from this period of filmmaking. This is mainly because studios were producing so many movies, not all of them had to be a big hit. a studio could gamble on a medium-budget feature with a good script and unknown actors. In 1930, the Motion Pictures Distribution Association of America president Will Hays founded the Hays Production Code. This set guidelines on censorship in the movie business. This came about after a Catholic organization, the Legion of Decency, was shocked at some of the provocative films of the era and threatened a boycott of motion pictures if it did not go into effect. After the outbreak of World War II, Hollywood did their part for the war effort. FDR saw huge potential in a partnership with Hollywood. They produced documentaries, film shorts, newsreels, and held many fundraisers in an effort to help Americans through the tough and fearful times. Movies also began to take on a more patriotic theme, helping to lift the morale of the country. Wartime stars like Ronald Reagan, Ingrid Bergman, and Judy Garland all made major contributions during this period and are considered some of the most patriotic and memorable performers of the era. By the early 1950s, most American households had a television in their living rooms. The impact on the Hollywood movie industry was significant. Television broke Hollywood's hold on the American entertainment industry. It began the demise of the golden age of film. Hollywood changed with the times. Studios began to satisfy the enormous appetite of the new teenage market. This was successfully accomplished with the production of rebellion movies, younger leading actors and actresses, and the opening of a new way to go to the movies, the drive-in movie theater. Another factor in the demise of the Golden Age was a federal action against major studios owning theaters, seen as a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. Many believed the quality, consistency, and availability of movies would go up and prices would go down. Quite the opposite happened. By 1955, the number of films produced had fallen by 25%. More than 4,000 theaters, 23%, had shut their doors. More than half of the remaining operational theaters were unable to earn a profit. This led theaters to be unable to rent and exhibit the best and most costly movies that could compete with television. In 1952, the Supreme Court reversed its original position on the censorship rules. They said that motion picture was a form of art and were entitled to the protection of the First Amendment. Laws could no longer censor the media. With this, the previous Hays Code was replaced with the film rating system. The golden age of Hollywood was over by the 1960s. Although it remained the center of movie making until the 21st century, it was nowhere near its original glitz and glamour. The Hollywood Walk of Fame was created in 1958. Honorees receive a star based on their achievements in motion pictures, live theater, radio, television, music, and their charitable contributions. Today, most movie production is no longer in Hollywood. The only studio in the district left is Paramount Pictures. All other major studios have mostly moved to Burbank, a city just outside of Los Angeles. Hollywood District is listed in the National Register of Historical Places. This protects certain buildings and ensures that the significance of Hollywood's past would always be a part of its future.
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
I'll be back.
Look at you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.